You guys need to get up now.
Yeah.
Get up. Let's go, get up.
Yes.
I got you, baby. Come on. I got you, baby. I know. Hey, she's still alive.
In a trailer home in the sleepy town of Silver City, New Mexico, a couple lie disoriented amongst trash in their one-room home. They don't seem aware of their own surroundings or even able to get up from the dirty mattress they're lying down on. Lying partially beneath them is something that will surely haunt the first response team for the rest of their lives.
I'm trying to stand up.
Their 5-year-old daughter, Jacqueline, unresponsive and motionless. Earlier that day, the Grant County Sheriff's Department dispatch team had relayed a fragmented 911 call to their responding deputies. The caller, a man named Thaddeus Hawkins, reported 2 unresponsive children.
97 Quail Run, again, 97 Quail Run for a medical call with 4 patients. It's an adult male and a female that are just saying ow, and a 5-year-old juvie and a juvie female and a 7-year-old male juvie that are not responding, advising has pain in his legs.
There was no clear explanation or confirmed cause. A welfare check quickly escalated into an emergency response. At approximately 10:34 a.m., Deputy Orozco arrives at 97 Quail Run. He is led to the trailer by Thaddeus, who is clearly disturbed by what he had discovered. Inside, the 2 adults, later identified as Music Adam and Matthew Bynum, are lying in the middle of the littered room. They're awake, but clearly in a state of mental confusion. Nearby, a young boy is slumped on a chair.
They're not responding? Where at? In this one? Who's here? Sheriff's office.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Not much. Sorry, I'm really stiff this morning. I can't get up right.
Are you guys on anything?
No.
No? What?
No, I'm just really stiff from...
What's wrong with them?
He's tired, I think.
Is he awake?
He is awake. He moved from here over to there. He is awake.
The space is tight, the ceilings are low, and the room is cluttered with garbage, toys, and furniture. Orozco scans the room and immediately realizes that something is wrong.
Who's not responsive?
Not responsive. The girl in the middle.
The girl, she's responsive.
Let me see.
Yeah.
You guys need to move.
Yes.
Move.
Orozco moves closer. Underneath the adults, he sees the second child, Jacqueline, stiff and unresponsive.
You guys need to get up now.
Yeah.
Get up.
We're getting up.
Get up.
We're getting up. I'm getting up.
Let's go, get up.
Yes. I'm getting up.
Music and Matthew attempt to comply with his orders, but their movements are slow and uncoordinated. Jacqueline still does not respond. Backup arrives, and Deputy Pogue immediately starts yelling commands too. Orozco's priority immediately shifts to the young boy, later identified as XB, Music and Matthew's 7-year-old son.
Get up now! Get up! Get out! I don't care! Stand up!
Let's go. Where's your shoes at?
How long?
Pretty
Check
old.
his vitals.
My leg is
Y'all smoke
tired.
dope?
Huh?
No.
My leg is tired. I can't bend it down.
Your leg hurts?
No, I can bend
Hey,
it
send a
down.
55 for him. Let's go. Want me to carry you? Come here. Come here. I'll carry you. You're okay. What's the matter? Where does it hurt?
My leg.
Your leg? Are you okay?
I'm just old.
How old is your sister?
Just turned 5 yesterday.
She just turned 5? She's 10-7.
XB is helped out of the trailer. He's weak and barely reactive, whimpering occasionally. Orozco carries XB towards the patrol cars, asking him questions about him and his sister. His answers are faint and don't really clarify what officers are trying to piece together. But it seems to confirm one thing. Both children were in pain when they woke up this morning.
Stand up. Stand up. Come on. Give me your hands.
Where is this going?
Stand up! Now!
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you again! Stand up!
I'm standing up. I'm trying to...
Give me the other arm.
Yeah. Ow.
Stand up! I'm not gonna tell you again!
I'm really trying to stand up.
Meanwhile, Pogue shifts his focus to music after he's handcuffed Matthew by the door to the trailer home. His commands are loud and fast. His tone is no longer uncertain. The situation is critical.
I got you, baby. Come on. I got you, baby. I know.
He's horrified by what he sees when he asks her to move once again. Pogue lifts Jacqueline into his arms and runs back to the patrol cars where Orozco waits with XB.
Hey, start CPR. She's still alive.
He says the words that no one wants to hear, and yet clings to them. She's still alive.
She's still alive.
She's still alive.
She's still alive.
The statement is based more on hope than medical confirmation.
Into the passenger seat.
A knife?
Ziploc bag.
Here. What do you need? What do you need?
Narcan. Come on, baby.
Where's the adult?
I have one cup. Come on. Is there anybody behind me?
Pogue begins CPR immediately, talking reassuringly to a motionless Jacqueline and shouting for help from other officers. There is still no response. As CPR continues, Orozco takes XB away to the EMS van. The paramedics put XB on a gurney to assess his injury and situation. Orozco is unable to provide them with any further information. Orozco then heads back to the trailer home to check on Music and Matthew, who are now being questioned by other officers. He's also able to take in the environment properly for the first time. The plot of land where the trailer home is situated is in severe disarray. The living conditions here are not just poor, they are dangerous. Pogue now hands Jacqueline over to the EMS team. He remains controlled, but is making an effort to be. This is the moment where uncertainty collapses into reality.
I don't know. It sounded like she was trying to gargle. I don't know.
Hands, please.
What he thought was Jacqueline gargling or gasping for air was in actual fact the death rattle. She'd been dying for some time before the first response team had even got to her. Pogue calls his superiors. He describes the state of the children, the environment, and the condition of the adults.
Hey, Randy, can you hear me? Yeah. Hey, we're up here at 97 Quell Run. Are you on call?
Yeah.
Okay, one dead child. I don't know about the other one. Two adults up here. I don't know. I got up here and kid was already all in purple. I started it and gave her Narcan. I don't know where they went. The EMS took off.
Okay. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Okay, I called Gilbert too. He's on his way too, because I tried calling him and didn't answer.
Alright.
So. Who's what?
Are you okay?
Yeah. He's
Is that a neighbor?
no. He's a
Okay.
18-year-old late kid. Okay, Randy, it's off of Flemington Take Road. 97 Quell Run.
97 Quell Run.
Yes, sir.
Alright. I'll be there as soon as I can.
This is no longer a medical emergency. It's a criminal investigation. The general consensus of the unit is that this situation could have been prevented. This family has been reported to the New Mexico Children, Youth, and Families Department many times. The news that the paramedics were unable to resuscitate Jacqueline hangs heavy over the first response team. XB is visibly injured, but has spoken to police, and the focus now shifts from rescue to accountability.
Did they take the 2 kids, or
I have both of them in my rig.
are they?
One's gone.
One is gone. That one's gone.
She's been gone.
I thought so. I picked her up. I heard something, so I was like, possibly.
Yeah.
But she felt too. She felt too stiff. That's what I was gonna say. And the other kid?
He's doing good. He's got a couple of marks. I wouldn't quite say it was like abuse. He's got a mark here and then a scratch on his back. He said he hasn't eaten since Friday. And I asked him what was going on, and he said we are all just cold.
Thaddeus, the 911 caller, is detained. He is the only sober person on the property. At this stage, officers don't know who is responsible, only that no one and nothing can be ruled out. At this stage, investigators are working with limited facts. They know that a child is dead. They know that another child is critically ill. They know that the adults present were impaired. They know that another young adult was on the premises and was aware enough to call 911. What they don't know yet is why this environment existed, or whether it fits a broader pattern. So they begin running names. Music Adam, Matthew Bynum, Thaddeus Hawkins. Almost immediately, one of those names returns a familiar result. Matthew Bynum is not unknown to Grant County authorities. Records show a history of repeated law enforcement contact. Not isolated incidents, but a pattern that stretches across multiple years and multiple types of offenses. Amongst these entries are multiple shoplifting arrests, an outstanding warrant for traffic violation at the time of this investigation, prior involvement in theft-related cases. This, in turn, tells officers that he has previously failed to meet basic obligations. He has been the subject of legal intervention multiple times. He has unresolved warrants at the time of his daughter's death. These aren't violent crimes on their own, but taken together, they establish something important to investigators: a repeated pattern of irresponsibility and unresolved legal issues. In isolation, a criminal history doesn't prove guilt, but in a case like this, it shapes risk assessment. With this information in hand, detectives revisit what they've already seen from officers' footage. Matthew lying down partially on his daughter while she was unresponsive, his delayed reaction to commands, his inability or unwillingness to assist. This forms a behavioral pattern consistent with neglect rather than accident. The crime scene tape is up. The home is now sealed. Everything inside is now evidence. Matthew sits in the back of a patrol car.
You awake?
Yeah.
Are you good?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I'm not sure.
Give me a second.
Paramedics are turned away when asked if they can check his vitals.
Hello?
Hello?
What's going on?
Nothing. I mean, nothing much is normal.
You said you don't feel good?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as lightheaded.
Lightheaded?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want your vitals taken?
No. It'll be alright.
He answers questions quietly, and there is no visible emotional response. Meanwhile, officers write notes and talk amongst themselves beside their vehicles. They're busy documenting positions, statements, and timelines. The chaos of the scene is being turned into record.
I took a needle off of her. It's right there. It's all burnt up. There's still ash marks on her sweater.
Deputy Gomez states that a needle was confiscated from Music. This detail is not emphasized yet, but it will matter later. Gomez recounts how he discovered the scene. His tone is clinical, but his words describe something deeply wrong.
What happened? I got here. The door was already open. I seen the parents laying down. My son, he didn't look responsive. I didn't see him until I asked him. I said, "What's going on?" I looked left. He's just sitting on the chair, all lethargic. I said, "What's wrong with him?" And I saw him moving and breathing, so I was like, "Okay." I went to go check on him. I was all who's not responsive? And then she goes, the mom goes, I don't think she is. And I looked and they're on top of her. I didn't even see him. Like half of his left body was on her left side, half of her right body was on her other side. So she moved, and I looked at the kid, and he was okay, he was breathing, he was moving at least. I looked at her, and it was just, she was gone. I felt her, I wasn't wearing gloves, I just felt her leg, and she was stiff and cold. So I tried getting the dad, I tried getting him up, they couldn't get up. I tried to put him.
Did you Narcan someone?
I tried to, but Lau already did before.
Get him again?
Because we were out here. I had the sun. I put on my hood and Lau comes running. She said she's still alive, so we Narcaned her right here. And then, I don't know what he was feeling, but I don't think she was.
No, they said she was been gone for a while.
Probably a death battle, something crazy.
Deputy Medina discusses plans with other officers for XB's safety. Calls are made to Child Protective Services.
Well, me see CYP at the hospital and give custody to them so they can make medical decisions and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Melissa, this is Deputy Polk with the Grand County Sheriff's Office. I apologize for calling you on a Sunday. We have a bit of a situation here.
At least now, intervention is unavoidable. Music is taken to the Gila Regional Medical Center for blood tests and toxicology screens, where Matthew and XB have also gone. She sits barefoot on a hospital bed, appearing to be in a state of dissociation. It's only when she hears her mother speak to XB that she gives any indication that she's aware of her surroundings.
Okay, you sound better now. You scared Grandma. You okay, buddy? You escaping? Sure. What's your mama think? You take care. Okay. How old are you? 7?
Music has a visibly upset reaction when she hears XB say his age from another room. This is the moment her composure breaks. After a while, she squirms in her handcuffs and snaps at the officer when he motions to adjust them.
What do you need?
I need my handcuffs loosened. My arm is turning colors on this side.
I'm right here.
I know, but you're not loosening them.
You didn't
So why am I going to ask you again to loosen them?
You didn't ask him to loosen them.
I did ask you to loosen them.
No, you didn't.
I told you how much I was in pain.
That's not the same as asking me.
The contrast between distress and irritation is noticeable. When she is finally led away to the police station for her interview, it seems to be a relief for everyone involved.
Parent to parent, I hate that I'm going to ask you this question, but I have to ask out of respect to your daughter.
Yes.
Did you know she was dead?
It's now nearing 4:30 p.m. Music sits alone, staring, sniffling, and waiting for Detective Orozco. When he sits down, one of the first questions out of her mouth is a blunt one.
So it's completely up to you.
What is the biggest likelihood that I'm going to be able to get my kids back?
I can't give any kind of opinion. Okay, and I'm kind of in a position right now where I can't really talk about the case itself without knowing the answer to that question.
Okay.
So,
just as much what happened today. We were all super sick last night, and the last thing that we ate was some chocolate cake that I got for my daughter for her birthday party. She had a birthday party at Penny Park from 1 to 4. We left a little bit early because it was getting really cold. I do smoke weed and speed, but I had not imbibed any speed.
Okay, so just to be clear with speed.
Methamphetamine.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I do not use them regularly. It was just kind of like I wasn't feeling good. It doesn't matter. That's all just excuses. But anyways, I had not used any past like noon 30 at the very latest was the last time that I used it. Yesterday.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I've done, not recently, but like, recently I've just done weed and speed. And I've done a lot of drugs throughout my life, though. My name is Music. My parents named me Music, you know. That's the life I grew up in. But, I've never felt like I did last night.
Over the next hour, Music begins recounting the past few days. She admits to meth and marijuana usage, but claims she didn't partake in any drugs the day before. She also confesses to the state of the trailer, saying that it was a work in progress in terms of organization. Although the family appears to have 4 vehicles on the property, she states that they don't have a single one to take stuff to the dump in.
The room is extremely messy, and that is true, and we're working on it. We don't have a vehicle right now to even take it to the dump. So it's really
hard.
It is hard.
Crazy hard.
And we had a friend that was letting us use their truck to do dump runs and stuff.
Okay, I'm sorry.
To do dump runs and
stuff.
Okay.
Music seems pretty adamant that her family's illness was caused by something they ate or were exposed to at the party, rather than access to any kind of drugs from the day before.
It was unreal. Like, I couldn't hold myself up. My daughter and my son couldn't hold themselves up. I had no idea what was going on. I just wanted us to get some sleep, and I thought that that would help. And I don't know. I don't know what it was, but that's why I really want to see the blood work and stuff, because that was not like anything I've ever experienced.
So that happens, you guys have some cake, and then later on, it starts getting cold.
It started getting cold, so we headed home, and then Zaki wanted to know if she could have one more slice of cake, and I said sure, and we all had a slice of cake before bed, and that's when things just started to get weird. I don't know if it was like, I've never had a sugar high like that. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't think it was the cake or anything. I don't know what it was.
She's finally questioned about the house itself. More specifically, its source of electricity and heat, the propane, the ventilation. This is where she stumbles slightly over her words.
What about the heater for the house?
The heater? We don't have the propane hooked in. We're out of propane.
And the coals? Like the place where you have the coals or whatever you were burning in there?
Yeah, it was coals. They were coals. But we burn them all the way to coals so they don't smoke the place out, and then we vent the window. Normally we have a propane heater, and when we have the propane hooked up to the heater that's up against the wall, we still leave it vented because the kids were, a while back, like when we first moved in, this is over a year ago, my son was waking up, throwing up. And we discovered it's because we had all the windows shut with the propane heater on, so it wasn't ventilating properly. So we started leaving the windows just cracked, and that was enough, and all the throwing up stuff. So that was good.
Yeah, that was my initial thought with everyone in the house. Like, you guys, from what we were told at the time, like, people just aren't feeling good, and having that type of heater inside the house, or even burning the coals inside, you get a little carbon monoxide. A certain percent, I'm not a doctor, some percent you're going to start feeling sick and whatnot, and after that things get a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
Right, progressively more serious until that's solved.
There should have been at least 2 windows cracked in the house. Okay. I don't know if they recorded that or not, but there should have been at least 2 windows cracked in the house.
When Music is given the opportunity to recount the events from the previous evening, she stresses that her children were behaving normally until they woke her up late at night.
The kids were fine. The kids were fine all the way up until I woke up in the middle of the night because Zaki was crying and Zai was crying, and they appeared to be asleep. Like they were having night terrors, but like severe night terrors. But they were fine when they laid down to snuggle with me. After we had the cake, everybody was fine. My son put on some YouTube, and everything seemed fine, and I crashed out. And then I woke up to my kids, they were crying. And Zaki was kind of...
About what time was that, do you know?
I don't have any idea, but my husband might know. My husband might know because he came out of the 5th wheel over to the tiny home to see what was going on, to see why everybody was crying, and to lay down with us. And he said he was feeling really crappy, and he was trying to get my son to calm down, and I had Zaki trying to calm her down, or like maybe wake her up so that she was not, you know. I wasn't like, I was just being gentle, like rubbing her forehead and stuff, you know, like just trying to get her to wake up, or because she was crying. She was alive, you know, she was crying. And we just couldn't figure out what it was that was making them cry, and my son was curled up in a little ball, and we had no idea what was going on, but eventually they quieted down, and there was just like a little whimper every now and again, but they were okay. They were breathing, they were responsive somewhat, you know, like there were vital signs, you know. And so I just thought it was night terrors. I just thought it was night terrors, and I knew that we were all feeling bad, and I should have gone off of that, but I just didn't. It's not I want to say this went on for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, and then my son calmed down first, and just started breathing a little bit heavily, and then just calmed down. And then my daughter would whimper every now and again, and like shiver kind of. And I just pulled her in close to me to like try and warm her up. But I mean, my kids and I snuggle every night, you know. Like my kids and I snuggle every night. Like I'm familiar with how to snuggle with my kids. I just don't. But maybe because I was sick, I rolled over on top of her or something like that. I don't know. I know that a lot of people come through here lying about what they do, and I am not here to lie about what I do. I'm here to figure out what happened to my children, because they are the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm not the best thing to ever happen to them.
That's big. That's a really big thing to say.
After a grueling half an hour of questioning, Music is finally told about the status of her children. Her reaction is delayed, then overwhelming.
Right, is that your son's name? Zai? I checked on him at the hospital when I saw you. So from what they're thinking, at that time, things could have changed. He looks like he has a touch of pneumonia.
Okay.
Okay, but I mean, otherwise, he seemed pretty okay. They're treating them. They're going to do what doctors do.
Yeah.
Right, and check him for all sorts of stuff. Zaki, she didn't survive. Sorry. I did try to talk to your husband. He refused to make a statement to me, so I couldn't speak to him about it to get more information.
Does he know?
Yeah, he knows. I told him.
Matthew, it has transpired, refused to give a statement to police. This aligns with what officers already know. He knows the system, and therefore knows that speaking may worsen his position. Music is then asked about Matthew's behavior towards their children, so police can get more of an insight into Matthew's character if he's refusing to talk.
My husband and I, he's been violent a little bit towards me, but never the kids. He's never, not even close. And it's always, a lot of times he's violent towards me because he doesn't feel like I'm doing right by the kids. So I'm not saying that's right or wrong or anything, but he would never hurt the kids. Even if they were being frustrating with the night terrors, like, he came in to help, and I don't believe that my husband would hurt the kids. I've seen him in rages, and he's never hurt the kids, in blind rages.
When asked for any more information on how she dealt with the previous night's situation, Music understandably breaks down. She says that she should have changed her children's environment, but that she never would have intentionally hurt them.
It just was bizarre how sloppy we all were. It just was weird. It was weird. I should have rolled out of that house. I would have.
Sometimes when kids cry at night, it's extremely difficult to deal with.
Yeah, but it's not. I just wanted to soothe them. Like, I did not. There was no shaking or any violence.
So I have to ask the question.
I understand that.
Did you do anything that would have caused her to die?
No, I did not. I snuggled with her and I was rubbing on her forehead like this to try and, because that helps soothe her sometimes. She saw it in Frozen, and the mom went like this to the daughter. And that's what I was doing because it helps to soothe her sometimes. She's never had night terrors like that. But sometimes when she's having a hard time going to sleep, that's what I do, and it helps her to get to sleep. But I just snuggled with her. I just held her, and not like tight. Like how I usually snuggle with her, how I've snuggled with her the last 5 years of her life.
As music continues speaking, another name surfaces: Thaddeus Hawkins. He's the person who discovered the family in distress and made the initial 911 call that brought deputies to the trailer. At the time, Thaddeus was not living inside the main property, but on the same plot of land. What investigators already know, and what music confirms, is that Thaddeus is not a neutral bystander.
I know that, I'm grateful that Thaddeus called. I know that he's got some kind of CYFD case going on with his sister right now. But I don't know that, I mean, we don't leave the kids alone with him. So, like, me or Matt are always there. We don't let him watch the kids. When his mom was there, we let Mitra watch the kids a couple of times, but she hasn't been there for weeks.
Are you aware of Thaddeus' situation?
I know a little bit about it. He told me a little bit about it. Just that it was, his sister is accusing him of molesting her in the Walmart parking lot or something like that.
Thaddeus was convicted on that.
Okay.
So think for consideration with your family.
Yes, absolutely. And I did not know that because he said that he still had court and stuff like that, and that's one of the reasons, so court or no, that's one of the reasons my husband and I made the decision to never have the kids alone with him. Do you know what I mean?
At the time of Shockleen's death, Thaddeus is still under court involvement related to that conviction. This detail immediately changes how law enforcement evaluates his presence on the property. Not because he's suspected of causing Shockleen's death, but because it raises some serious questions about why a convicted sex offender was living in proximity to 2 young children. Were existing safeguards being enforced? Music tells Orozco that her children were not left alone with Thaddeus. She maintains that she didn't know Thaddeus was fully convicted, that he had a good relationship with the family, and that she did not believe that he would ever harm them.
Do you have any reason to believe that Thaddeus would hurt your kids?
I know that they've been kind of annoying him a little bit. They've been picking on him, kind of. Picking on him the way a 4-year-old, like, yeah. And so there's that, I guess. But other than, I had no idea that he was saying that he still had court for it.
Which he probably would. He had a little bit of trouble with compliance afterwards. So I'm sure there's some court-mandated stuff that he's still doing that's along with that.
Orozco documents the statement, but treats it as a risk rather than verification. Another layer of danger added to an already unstable environment. That night, the crime scene is taken over by another team of detectives and deputies, including Deputy Pogue. Flashlights cut through the darkness, and the silent night is broken only by the barking of music and Matthew's dogs. Officers later went on record describing the environment as being in complete disarray, with a foul odor from trash, unclean clothes, and other items on the floor. Despite previous reports made by the CYFD that the house had running water and electricity, this did not appear to be the case. Old, moldy items of food and dead ants and bugs took up refrigerator space, and the floor of the house could not be seen due to the amount of litter on it.
What is that? Is that vomit? It looks like dog vomit, huh?
Dog diarrhea. All right there.
Amongst the waste and clutter, a generator is found, blocked. There doesn't seem to be any air ventilation at all. Another potential source of toxic gas.
Is there no electricity to this generator, right?
Yeah. As far as I've seen, yes.
Yes, there's no running water, no power that I know of. As far as I know, they had that.
And you guys have been up here with CYFD before?
Yeah.
Was it like this before?
We never had contact. So either one, they had all the windows covered, we couldn't see in. The one time we could see in, it wasn't like this, was it?
No, it's not as bad. I don't think
it wasn't as bad as this.
Like, nobody find it odd that they would have the kids in that room and them in here when there's enough room for everybody in here?
It is super weird. But according to Thaddeus, so they kind of use it as necessary. So like if it's more comfortable being here based on the weather, then they stay in here. If it gets cold and they need to heat it up, they go over there because they have the coal thing going.
They quickly work out that coal was brought in as a heat source to burn inside the house.
They were running one of these heaters. I don't know which kind. I'm assuming one probably like that because this looks like it's made for indoor. And the son had gotten sick, so they learned to vent the windows. And that 2 windows on the house should be open right now. That's what she said in the interview. So yeah, that didn't happen. But they weren't running the propane because they're out of propane. So they would have burned wood outside, scooped up the coals, brought burning coals into that thingy, and that was their heat source for inside here.
This was a very risky move from Music and Matthew. The burning of coal releases carbon monoxide, a deadly gas that goes undetected due to it being odorless and colorless, which deprives the lungs of oxygen. How it could have led to XB's poor physical health and Shockleen's death goes without saying. Officers also begin suspecting more serious drug use. They don't yet know that Music has already admitted to it.
Oh yeah.
It's a crack pipe.
Oh, I can only see part of it, Odita.
Yeah, that's a crack pipe.
Well, there you go.
Anything back there?
Oh, a meth pipe.
A methamphetamine pipe is found and later submitted to forensics. One officer says it plainly. The living conditions are a massive red flag in themselves.
Any crazy evidence sales so far?
Not really. I mean, the state of the house itself it's a massive red flag, you know?
On May 22nd, 2024, Music Adam and Matthew Bynum are arrested in front of their son outside the CYFD office in Silver City. They are handcuffed and led away to separate patrol cars. Music's charges are read to her, and she's told that they will be put in effect immediately.
You're getting charged for child abuse resulting in death.
No way!
First-degree felony.
That is not true! I just
Count
talked
2.
with Detective Orozco!
Abuse of a child, great bodily harm.
No!
Second-degree felony. Count 3. Abuse of a child. So you're getting...
Can I talk to Detective Orozco?
No. You're going straight to the jail.
That is not fair! I just talked to him! It was carbon monoxide poisoning and we did not do it on purpose!
Whilst Music is emotionally volatile, Matthew remains quiet and withdrawn. He only once asks if someone could keep XB back so he didn't have to witness the scene.
So, first count would be child abuse resulting in death. First degree felony. Count 2, abuse of a child, great bodily harm. Second degree felony.
Do this while my son's gonna. Could you stop them from bringing my son out here right now?
They're not gonna bring your son out. Don't worry about it, okay?
What's going on?
You have warrants out for your arrest, okay?
For what?
When was this? Well, we have them in hand. We'll explain them to you, alright?
With his criminal history now known, officers seem to interpret this as familiarity with police contact and with the system. Although the toxicology report indicated that Jacqueline died from a high percentage of carbon monoxide poisoning, the conditions that caused it were not invisible. They were documented, reported, observed, and left unresolved. What happened on March 10th was sudden, but not unforeseeable. The trials of Music Adam and Matthew Bynum are scheduled for early 2026. If found guilty, it is likely that they will face life in prison.